Hello everyone, just wanted to welcome you back to the game room. Still thinking on a name, the Bunker, Wolf's Den, something like that. And to go into the game room, we have a game table that we're working on. Now what you see here, this is the raw plywood, and these are some, I don't know what you call these exactly, some 2x4 scraps. And what we've done is with our 6x4 table, we put this edging, and then we have a tabletop. So this isn't like a full table. So this is actually sitting on a older table that we have. And so you can see the table and these side pieces come down a little bit, and then we left with these pockets. What we're going to do with these corner pockets is eventually cut a hole into it so we have like a drink holder, but it's not going to cut through this part. This is actually a cover, so this part here will take it off in a little bit, and you'll see another table, kind of gaming space down underneath. So what we did here for the sides, don't know if you can see that very well, but these sides are going to give us these little pockets, and they're not very tall, but one thing we wanted to do was make sure that when you're sitting, we didn't want this table to be like, or the topper to be really tall off of the actual table that it sits on. So depending on the height of the table, you know, this is going to be up a little bit. So we didn't want these pockets to be super tall either. So this is going to let you fit pencils and some paperwork and dice, tokens, various things that you can play with. So they're not like designed to, you know, they'll mostly hold a book. You know, the book will come out a little bit. So they're not gonna, you know, you can't put a whole lot in there, but it does allow you to hide some things away. So like if you're playing, you know, miniature games and you want to keep your table clean, then dice, you know, like I said, different markers and things, depending on the game you're playing. When we played the game Tanks, we were able to keep a lot of the tokens and some of the cards underneath. Like, so for example, if you were playing X-Wing, then you could put a lot of ship status items down here on the sides and kind of keep some of the clutter off of the top of the table. So this right here is the unfinished wood. We still have to finish sanding, then we got to stain it, and then of course slack it up so that, you know, it looks pretty good. So almost there. Almost there. But that's the top. Now I'll go ahead and take the cap off and show you the table underneath and what progress we've got so far with that. Alright, so this is what the table looks like when you take the cap off. So if you're playing your 6x4, you know, miniatures game, then you would put the cap on, and then see, this is what, you know, the edging does. This is what keeps the 6x4 in place so it doesn't slide off. And where these come down, their depth, it actually sits flush with the table. So there's no overhang into the pockets where you're going to store your extra pieces. That means the inside, you didn't have plenty of room to fit board games. We've actually played, well, we played a couple board games in here, and it's plenty of room. In fact, I'll lay out Old School Tactical, which is the biggest board game I have for a single game, and I'll put it in there. Now, if I was playing a monster game, which I don't have any monster games, you know, you could put and play on the cap. But what this will let me do is maybe set up Old School Tactical or some other game, and then put the cap on, and that would keep the game inside preserved, you know, and then I can do some other game. Or I could set up a miniature game in here and then, you know, put the cap on to do other games. So this kind of lets me have the ability to play like 2 games over time. And then here I am sitting down. As you can see, we still got some work to sand. This has 1 coat of the primer on it, so it's not very dark. So we're hoping by the time we get the second coat, it'll get darker. The material we're using is just regular 2x4s and plywood sheets. My wife said we probably should have went with an MDF, so it's hard to say what we'll do if we build like another one. This is more of a proof-in concept, but it works really well. And it's got enough weight that, you know, as I'm just kind of hanging here, putting my arms, relaxing, it's not flipping or anything like that. Plus these inner pockets, obviously you don't want to put like a whole lot of weight, but if you're just sitting here and hanging your arms over the side, it works just fine. Plus, you know, you can reach across pretty well. And then like any table, I mean, you don't necessarily have the ability to reach all the way across, but if you're playing, you know, across from somebody, you can each reach your side of the board just fine. And it's not too deep. So this, I think, worked out really, really well. So this is just a 2x4, so this is 4-inch deep pocket. And then I'm trying to remember, I think we were trying to go with these pockets being 6 inches deep. So 2x4s, and then these pockets here are 6 inches deep. And they're not quite 4 inches tall, so they're like 3.25 inches tall for the height of the pocket here. And then the pockets, like I said, they go all the way around, so you can, you know, put stuff wherever you're sitting at. And then, like I said, what we'll do is when we have the time, we're going to cut holes in here for drinks. Now, when you have the cap on, you can't use a drink holder, but that's fine because you'll be, you know, tabletop gaming with, you know, like miniature wargaming, your 6x4 area. But when we're just having a regular game here inside this area, this is for, like, you know, other types of games, then you'd have the drink holder. Now what we want to do is inside the pocket here is eventually put felt down. Alright, so right now this is just the wood, but that's kind of the design of the table. So I'll put the old school tactical board in here, and you can kind of see how this would hold a game and how much space you actually have. And this is just to show you what kind of space we have. So we've got the old school Tactical 2 board game in here. I just pulled it out of the box, so it takes a minute or two to flatten out. But as you can see, I've got some space here on the side. You know, you can roll your dice, put a dice tower. Just give you a sense of scale. You know, here's the unit cards. And then you still have room on either side. So when I was putting this together, like I said, this is the biggest mat board I have. So I wanted to make sure that this would fit inside just fine, and it does. So you get, excuse me, you get quite a bit of room here for gaming. Yeah, originally we were going to have these tables a little bit smaller, but after kind of measuring, we were able to make the pockets a little bit deeper here, and you still have plenty of room on the inside to hold, you know, just about any game that you want to play. And then, of course, like I said, when you're done playing but you don't want to put everything away, then you can just put the cap on and then use the cap for other gaming. But that is an overview of the table that I'm working on. My friend, we started putting it together, and then he did a lot of the finishing work, so I'm going to come back through probably over vacation time and, you know, kind of recoat a few areas where we put some of the stain, and then I'll go back with a second coat of stain, and then I'll be able to add some actual polyurethane over the top areas to kind of give it that glossy look. So still have quite a bit to do, but I'm hoping when it's done we'll have a nice fully functional table. Alright, well, thanks for checking this out, and you know, if you have a gaming table or a project you've been working on, you know, go ahead, share in the comments. And if you have a link to it where we could, you know, check it out, go ahead, share. All right, thanks for hanging out. Bye.